On this channel, I have shared a lot of options for funding your education. So today, we want to get creative. In today's video, I'll share with you some very creative funding options that you may not have thought about. So let's get into it. In so many videos, I have talked about how to fund your education, especially as an international student. I've talked about a lot of scholarship options, how to get scholarships. We've talked about GATARA positions as a funding option. We've talked about student loans a lot. So today I want to share with you some creative ways you can fund your education that you should consider. After thinking about all these big major options, you should also think about these more creative ways to think about funding your education. So it's going to be fun. Let's get into it. First option here is sponsorship letters, which I have talked about a lot here on this channel. So this is essentially a letter someone writes for you saying they will sponsor your education up to a specific amount. If you click the link below in the description, you will find a lot of templates, including a sponsorship letter template that you can get and just copy what I have. But it's a really simple 2-line letter. Essentially, you've tried all the options that you have to fund your education, but you're still not at that 100% of your tuition and living expenses. As an international student, you need to show how you will be able to pay for all your tuition and living expenses in order for you to get your student visa approved. For the US, for the UK, for Canada, for any country, you really need to show the school and the consular office or the consulate or the embassy, whatever. You need to show them, in order to get your visa, you really need to show that you can pay 100% of your tuition and living expenses. You can use multiple different funding options, but it needs to add up to that 100%. Now, you've done everything, but you still don't have all the funding that you need. You can get a sponsorship letter. You can ask a friend, a family member, an enemy, a neighbor to write you a letter saying they will sponsor your education in this specific school up to this specific amount. Maybe that amount is $20,000 or $10,000. But the catch here is that person must show proof that they have that amount. So you need to attach a bank statement or any other kind of proof that the person has that amount, and then you submit that to your school and to the consulate when you're applying for your visa. Now the thing is, the popular question that I get here is, does the person really need to give me the $20,000, Daryl? And the answer is no. They don't owe you anything. They don't need to give you anything. But this just helps you to cross that hurdle of getting your visa. Now you need to figure out how you get that $20,000. It could be from working while you're in school. It could be that person truly sponsoring you, but they just need to write you that letter. I'll put a link in the description. I've talked a lot about this in detail, so I'll put some of those videos in the description and you can learn more. Hi my friend, hope you found today's video helpful so far. See, today's video is part of a series of videos that I'm doing to help you navigate the entire application, funding, visa process. So all these videos over the next few weeks will just be added to a single playlist, and that playlist will be in my description. If you click that playlist, you will find all these videos and you will be able to navigate the entire application process by yourself. So if you have any friend that you know is applying to schools in the US, the UK, Canada, Australia this year, and they cannot afford to have an admissions coach, please send them this single link so they can navigate the entire process as well. Be nice to them. So send this link to them and let's get back to the video. So let's talk about option 2, which is what I call internship loan repayment. Essentially, now you're in school, but you still owe the school, or you still don't know how you pay for your second year. But between your first year and your second year, for many programs, you do an internship in between your first year and your second year. And I'm talking about grad schools or grad programs here, like masters, MBA. You do an internship between your first year and your second year for those doing 2-year MBA programs. Now, between your first year and your second year, you apply to internships, you get an internship. There are some companies, some organizations that will help you repay any loans you took or any loans you've taken so far or any balance you have on your tuition. So example here is you do an internship with a company, and part of the terms for you to accept that internship offer, or at the end of the internship, if you accept their full-time offer, they'll tell you, hey, we have this $10,000 for you extra that you can just use, but you can only use it to repay a loan or to repay a balance you have on your tuition with this school. I'm giving you this option because my previous employer and my current employer offer some packages like that, different forms where employees have some dollars that they can use to repay their loans or any balance on their tuition. I'm telling you this because these are some of the things that I totally was not aware of when I was applying. Like, I didn't even know this was a possibility. I'm telling you this so you can also, as you get into school, preparing for school, even now before you start school, if you've not started, you can start looking out for some of those kind of companies that offer those, and it's usually significant money, like 10K and above, and that's a lot that could really help you, especially if you're an international student and you've really tried every option out there. So this is one other option that's out there for you that you can begin to plan for. All right, let's get to number 3 for today's video, which is day 1 CPT schools. This one is a bit more complex to explain, and so I really recommend that you check the video in the description on day 1 CPT schools, and this is only relevant for those of you that are considering studying in the United States. So if you're not considering studying in the United States, this may not be applicable. So day 1 CPT, I really recommend you check the link in the description after watching this video to go into more detail about what day 1 CPT is. But I'll give you this how many seconds spiel. I'll try to summarize. CPT is the approval, or yeah, let's just say approval. I don't want to call it a visa, but maybe you can call it a visa. It's not a visa, but it's an approval you get as an F1 student, essentially an approval you get as an international student studying in the US. CPT is that approval you get to be able to work an internship, not full-time job. I'm not talking about the H-1B work visa. I'm talking about you just need to work. For your internship, you need a CPT approval from your school. Now, the issue is most schools in the United States will not give you CPT until you've done 1 year at that school, and say you wanted to do an internship between your first year and second year, they'll issue you a CPT, right? That's regular. But there are a few schools, tiny few schools, like really few schools, that will offer you that CPT from day 1 of joining the program. Let's say you started the program today, they can issue you a CPT, and what that does is with that CPT you can work full-time from day 1. So you can go get a good job from day 1, provided that doesn't impact your education. You can go out and you don't need to, like, you can just go work anywhere and get good pay, good salary, and use that for your tuition. That's really one option. If you're thinking about the United States, please look into day 1 CPT schools. Now, there's a lot of scams out there. Don't go to schools that are scamming people. No, legit schools, and I admit there's just only a few of them. So look out for these schools. Check the video, and in that video that I'm going to put in the description, you will see links that I put in the description of that video, just telling you, sharing more, where you can read more about day 1 CPT schools and what it's about and some of those schools. I did not know about this day 1 CPT option until after I spent maybe 4 years in the United States. So it's not something a lot of people know about. So please, if you've tried every other option, consider applying to a day 1 CPT school. Even if you already have your plans, you know the school you're going to, just as a backup, also apply to some day 1 CPT schools, so that in case you don't get all the funding that you need for your dream school, you can also have this as an option. So those are all the creative options that I wanted to share in this video quickly. If you have other creative funding options or funding opportunities that I haven't mentioned in this video that you've tried, like, let's get creative in the comments. Like, you don't know what you sharing that information, just typing that would do to another person, how that could make someone else's dream just come alive and come to pass. Please share information as much as possible in the comments. This is a community. Like, I cannot know everything out there, so share any other creative thing you've done to be able to fund your education. Of course, legit things, but I know we're all legit, so share all that you have or that you've tried or what you've heard about, even if you're not sure, so I can at least read about them and make sure it's legitimate, and I'll share here broadly as well. All right, if you enjoyed today's video, as usual, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, join the family, don't be a stranger, and I'll see you in the next video. I haven't done one of these celebratory type videos for crossing 10,000 subscribers a couple of months ago, but maybe you should give me ideas in the comments. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.